Hello, boys and girls. We are going to read chapter 5 of the Magic Treehouse book. Number 1, Dinosaurs Before Dark. We're jumping right back in because making our paragraphs the way we want them for our published copy is going to take some time. And Mrs. Gosnell, she needs time to read over them carefully and to help you edit a lot of your work. So we are jumping right back into our novel until then. And we are going to start on chapter 5, which is, if you look at the contents, the table of contents, chapter 5 is called Gold in the Grass. I wonder why. Remember? Ask yourself questions as you read. It helps you stay engaged and get lost into your book. We're going to be on page 22. So get your book out, pause this video, and turn to page 22, and you can read along. So let's review what we learned so far. It's been a while since we've taken a look at our book. So we are going to go ahead and look at our book here. And before we get started, I want to share with you, I finally finished the Tyrannosaurus Rex skeleton from the paleontology kit. Isn't it cool? It took a while to make. I'm not going to tell you. It took a long time. And it's very sensitive. Oops, I just broke it. It's realistic in that way. I bet real dinosaur bones from the Cretaceous period are sensitive like that as well. I also want to show you the egg. I'm going to put this in water today. Wonder what kind of dinosaur species is inside of this. We're going to find out. Can't wait. Back to our book. So, in the Magic Treehouse Dinosaurs Before Dark, we were introduced to 2 characters, Jack and Annie. When we analyze these characters, we use text evidence, of course, to analyze those characters, Jack and Annie. Jack is 8.5. Here's my text evidence right here. Jack is 8.5 right there. Annie is 7 years old, and that's his sister. We said that Jack is very responsible. He's like a responsible older brother, very cautious, unsure. Annie is the opposite of Jack, very adventurous and free and energetic and very curious. So curious that when she found a mysterious treehouse, she wanted to climb right up in it. Jack, not so sure about that, until Annie said, "Jack, there are books up here." And then Jack picked up a book he loved. We read about in chapter 2, and it was a dinosaur book that Annie picked out for him, and it had a pteranodon on the cover, and he rubbed it, and all of a sudden the tree started spinning faster and faster, and they found themselves in a strange land, and that put us in chapter 3, Where is Here? And in this strange land was a real life pteranodon. And which, of course, Annie could not help herself. She climbed right down that treehouse and wanted to pet it and made friends with it. And Jack said, "We couldn't have gone back in time 65 million years ago." But there it was, a real-life pteranodon. And this ancient creature was from the Cretaceous period. And we read a lot about the pteranodon. We found a lot of facts about him. And we know that actually the pteranodon, although they lived with dinosaurs, they were not a dinosaur themselves. They were just an prehistoric reptile, flying reptile. Then that put us in chapter 4, where Annie named the pteranodon Henry. And at the end of chapter 4, also, this is where Jack wanted to take notes because because he's like, oh my goodness, we're the first people to probably ever see real life, prehistoric animals and dinosaurs. So I'm going to be taking notes. And all of a sudden, when they were doing that, boom, a huge dinosaur was on the hilltop. Ah! And that's where we left off. So let's see what happened. Now, we said at the end, is this a Triceratops? Well, we're going to find that out. We're going to read and find that out. But also, if you know your dinosaurs, you know that tri in the name Triceratops means 3. 1, 2, 3. This dinosaur has 3 horns. So we're in chapter 5, remember? Page 22. Let's do it. Go, go, said Jack. He threw his notebook into his pack. He pushed Annie towards the rope ladder. Bye, Henry, she said. Go, said Jack. He gave Annie another push. Quit it, she said, but she started up the ladder. Jack scrambled after her. Jack and Annie tumbled into the treehouse. They were panting as they looked out the window at the dinosaur. It was standing on the hilltop eating flowers off a tree. Oh, man, whispered Jack. We are in a long time ago. The dinosaur looked like a huge rhinoceros with 3 horns instead of 1. It had 2 long horns above its eyes, and another one grew out from his nose. It had a big shield-like thing around its head. Triceratops, Jack said. Does he eat people? That's a good question, whispered Annie. I'll look it up. Jack grabbed a dinosaur book. He flipped through the pages. There, said Jack, pointing to a picture of a Triceratops. He read the caption. The caption said, the Triceratops lived in the late Cretaceous period. This plant-eating dinosaur weighed over 12,000 pounds. That's a lot. Ooh. Was this relevant? Was this a relevant fact here? The question was, does he eat people? Was it relevant? Did it answer their question? It was. This plant-eating dinosaur told them that. Good job, Jack, finding text evidence to support your question. Jack slammed the book shut. Just plants, no meat. Good, said Annie. Let's go see him up close. Are you crazy, said Jack. There she goes. If I wanted to say that Annie is still very adventurous, that would be my text evidence right there. She is just not afraid. She wants to go up and pet the Triceratops. And her brother's like, are you crazy? Don't you want to take notes about him? Asked Annie. We're probably the first people in the whole world to ever see a real live Triceratops. Oh, she knows how to get to her brother. Jack sighed. Annie was right. Okay, let's go, he said. Jack shoved the dinosaur book into his pack. He slung his pack over his shoulders. Annie started down the ladder, and Jack followed her. Just promise you won't pet him, Jack called down to Annie. I promise, said Annie. Promise you won't kiss him, said Jack. I promise, said Annie. Promise you won't talk to him. I promise, said Annie. I don't know if I believe Annie. Promise you won't. Don't worry, said Annie. Annie and Jack stepped off the ladder. The pteranodon gave them a friendly look. Annie blew a kiss. Be back soon, Henry, she called. Shh, said Jack, and he led the way slowly, carefully through the ferns. Well, I wanted to prove that Jack was still very cautious and unsure. This is the way to prove it. He moves very slowly and carefully through the ferns. He's telling his sister to be quiet. He's worried. Keeps telling her not to do certain things. Jack and Annie reached the bottom of the hill. They knelt behind a bush, and Annie started to speak, but Jack quickly put his finger to his lips. Then he and Annie peeked out at the Triceratops. The dinosaur was bigger than a truck. He was eating the flowers off a magnolia tree. Jack slipped his notebook out of his pack. He wrote, eats flowers. Magnolia is a flower. Annie nudged him. Jack ignored her. He studied the Triceratops again. He wrote, eat slowly. Annie nudged him harder. Jack looked at her. Annie pointed to herself. She walked her fingers through the air. She pointed to the dinosaur. She smiled. Is she teasing? Is there enough text evidence here to know if she was teasing? Is there enough relevant evidence? I don't know. Let's keep reading. Jack wondered. Annie waved at him. Jack started to grab her. She laughed and jumped away. Oh, there's some relevant details there, some text evidence. I think she was teasing because she laughed and then jumped away. She fell into the grass in full view of the Triceratops. Get back, whispered Jack. Too late. The big dinosaur had spotted Annie. He gazed down at her from the hilltop, half of the magnolia flower sticking out of his mouth. Oops, said Annie. Get back, Jack said again. He looks nice, Jack, Annie said. Nice? Watch out for his horns, Annie, said Jack. The Triceratops gazed calmly down at Annie. Then he turned and he loped down the hillside. Bye, said Annie. She turned back to see Jack. Jack grunted, but he wrote in his book, Nice. Come on, let's look around some more, said Annie. What a nice illustration here. Wonder why the author put this illustration here. What do you think? Maybe it's to show how the dinosaur was nice. And look how big it is compared to them. Now it just turned around and just pretended they weren't even there, not even worried. As Jack started after Annie, he saw something glittering in the tall grass. Oh, what could that be? Jack reached down and picked it up. It was a gold medallion. A letter was engraved on the medallion. A fancy M. Oh, man, someone was here before us, Jack said softly. Wonder why he thinks that. Are you wondering the same thing? Is it because of the medallion? Why in the world would a medallion be there in the Cretaceous period? Dinosaurs don't wear jewelry. Wonder what that M stands for. Guess we'll have to find out in Chapter 6, Dinosaur Valley. All right. I'm going to check your comprehension of Chapter 5. You have a Schoology assignment. So let's get to that. Bye.